Hello everyone, welcome again to another video on my channel. I haven't, at the time of this recording, I haven't come up with a name for this video. So it's going to be a bit of a review slash first impressions. I sort of did this during a live stream a couple days back, but I know that some of you can catch it. So I just figured this would be a good time to relax and give you my impressions on this game and tell you my ideas for the future of not only this game but also my channel in general, because this is the first video after my farewell video where I thought I could no longer maintain the channel, but here I am. I'll get back to that in a few minutes. But what you're looking at right now is part of the city that I created during that live stream. I kept playing it off camera for quite a bit. In fact, I put quite a bit, like a lot of hours into it, to be completely honest. Let me do a quick tour, and then we're gonna talk about Cities Skyline as a whole. So let me try to scroll out. So this is what we built pretty much during the live stream. You guys probably remember this area, the farming area and the industrial area and some of the residential areas over here. For those of you who missed the live stream, don't worry, I'm gonna do some close-ups and show it to you in detail. So this is our industrial area. As you can see, we have this was the original freeway access that came by default. So we did a few modifications to it. It's not the most efficient in terms of traffic, but it sure looks nice. And since I added other connections here and there, it's definitely improved in terms of traffic. And these two one-way roads lead into the industrial area, which is composed primarily by garbage dumps. Yes, there's a big problem with that. I feel like you need to plop a ton of those or the incinerators in order to deal with the excess of garbage. But I guess it makes sense. That's what happens in real life a little bit too. So I'm sure the game will... I found many, not inconsistencies, but I'm going to cover those in a few minutes. But I'm sure the game will be updated during the upcoming days, if not weeks or months. And some of these things will be fine-tuned and whatnot. So I'll get to that later. I'm so excited to be back. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's just like I forgot how to record videos because, dude, relax. Yeah. Anyways, so a few additions to this area is, well, first, during the live stream, I added the cargo terminal here, but I ended up adding a second one. Where is it? Over here. And I also added a train station that it's also connected with bus lines. I added a bunch of bus lines all over the place, a few bus depots. I'm not going to go in detail of all the things that I did because it doesn't really matter at this point. I just wanted to highlight at least my favorite parts of this town, just so that you get some inspiration for your own cities. And I'm also going to talk about that in a few minutes. Because I want to take a different approach on this game than I did with the SimCity games that I was playing. So let me show you, before I get into that, let me show you, this was the very first avenue that I created. Imagine these two one-way roads were the freeways from the interchange that comes by default. And I extended them as one-way roads with a gap in the middle that I filled with trees. So now we have this nice looking boulevard avenue. There's a ton of trees in here, but you know me, trees make a whole lot of a difference. Like, they make the cities look so nice. You can't go wrong with trees. In fact, one of the mods, so I have a bunch of mods installed. I might cover those in this video or not, depending on how much time we have. I don't want this video to be super long, and I'm sure you're already looking at it like 40 minutes. Hopefully it will be less than that. But at this point, I don't know, because I'm still recording, and I should probably talk about the game and not the outcome of this video. As you can see, I extended the rail lines as well. I have a few stations connecting over here, there's another one over here, and on this side of the of town. This is kind of the metropolitan downtown area, and we have this beautiful park in the middle that's custom made. And I love the tools that the game has at this point are very, very basic, but you can like create some beautiful things, as you can see. And I hope that you would agree with me that this is pretty nice. And it totally blends in with the rest of our city. We do have some plovable parks here and there, like this little playground. And there's basically several of these parks. This looks custom, but it's not. It's a poppable as well. I guess the ingredients or the tools that these developers use for the creation of these parks are basically the same that I have. So you can basically recreate this park on your own if you wanted, except for the fountain. I wish. I'm sure that all these props will become available as mods eventually. So. There's a lot to talk about that in terms of the game itself, but let's see, what else can I show you that's cool? Well, I also created this kind of a suburban office park / residential area where there's a ton of trees and parks in between the different buildings. Even though they don't look super high-tech or anything, it's still a nice neighborhood that it just has trees all around it, and it's not completely zoned like this neighborhood, for example. And it's just by the shore here between this the turn here of the river. I know it has a name, a technical geographical name. I know it in Spanish, but I don't know it in English. So I'll just be quiet and not say a word that might be wrong. I also added details here and there. As you can see, added paths around some of the buildings just so that they would blend in a little bit more. In some cases, in some areas they look nicer, in some areas they don't look so nice. One thing that I was trying, though, as you can see here, is I tried creating a bit of a dry, deserted patch of dirt just to just for a change, because we have a lot of grass all around. So, you know, I added I'll probably cover this in another video, how to do these things, because I also did them over here. Let me scroll the camera just to like integrate the railroad tracks a little bit. I also added some paths and some like bushes here and there. So yeah, I think it looks very nice. Let me turn down the music. I feel like the music is super loud, and hopefully it's not just, yeah, it's a bit loud. Let me turn it just a little bit down. There we go. Hopefully the first part of the recording wasn't terrible. I was also playing with this pedestrian overpasses, and I can finally see people using it because nobody was using it a moment ago. And also over here, I did one of these pedestrian bridges that connects this area town with the train station mainly, as you can see. I do like, well, I'm going to start reviewing the game. Let's not look at the CD anymore. I think you can get an idea. By the way, this is the main layout of the CD. Let me go back to the freeform camera. I will lose some frames per second the first moments when you switch to that mode, but hopefully it will be fluid enough. It took me a lot of work to get this game recording in a good quality that I was happy with, and I had a good frame rate. I'm now recording at 1440p at 60 frames per second. Obviously, this countdown that you probably can't see says 32 frames per second, but it's still pretty fluid. And if I get close enough, it's definitely more than 30 frames per second. For some reason, all of my recording apps, including OBS, would refuse to record this game one way or another. So it was really challenging. Right now I'm using Shadowplay. For those who are interested, it's the suite that comes with NVIDIA graphic cards. So far it seems to be working okay, even though I think I'm capturing the desktop and not the actual game, but whatever, I'm not gonna get into that. Let's get into the game. So overall, I gotta say, I love this game. This game is everything that I wish SimCity 2013 was. It is, and more. Just to put it simply, that is what it is. There's so much potential in this game that is ridiculous. It's so much more fun. I spent hours, and like this past week, I went to bed really late playing this game for hours, and it's just like, wow, just 5 hours just flew by as I was playing this game. It has a lot of control over many things. Let me start with the basics. let me start with the obvious, the most prominent thing, the thing that we'll notice at the very first thing that you'll notice, is what I'm trying to say, is the graphics. The graphics are very, very good. I wouldn't say excellent or outstanding or anything like that. They're very good. I think they will get better. I mean, the engine is Unity. The quality of the models is, I would say, is very, very decent. I mean, if I zoom in and I show you, I mean, you can see a ton of, I don't know if you can get any of this on YouTube. If you have a fast enough connection, if you want to go all the way up, go to 1440p, you might get a bit more detail. So in that regard, the textures and everything is great. I have a few concerns in terms of the aesthetics of the game more than the actual graphics engine. This is probably a good example. I feel like everything is way too colorful. I know it's probably a decision made by the developer to make everything super colorful, but I think it makes sense to some extent, but I feel like they went a bit overkill. I feel like all these trucks are way too colorful for real life. Like this, like hot green, maybe you can get a better angle from this angle. Yeah, there we go. This is like way too green. There's also too repetitive. I know they're trying to recycle the same model and changing colors, and that's perfectly fine, but most cars in real life are not like red, blue, yellow, and green, like really saturated colors. They're more like blacks and blues and dark blues and silver, and I just wish that the colors of the cars were slightly more realistic, because everything else is. Like the pavement has a nice believable texture, if that makes any sense. The trains are actually great. I think there's a ton of container ships that are this shade of green. The locomotives are also like really, you know, hot colors, very saturated colors. So I'm okay with that. If the passenger trains are like really, here's a good example. They're like bright red. I'm absolutely fine with this. The cars, however, it looks like a Christmas tree. I think this could be toned down. And I think the modding community will play a part in that. I'm sure someone is already working on retexturing this vehicles. And just have, you know, slightly less saturated colors will make a huge difference. In fact, if you can have the saturated colors for let's just call them civilian cars, like the cars that the AI spawns, in contrast with your public transportation, your bus network, where you can actually pick the color you want. For example, I think this is a bus that I picked, and I painted it like a dark shade of blue. I can maybe make the buses like really hot red, and they will stand out compared to the rest of the traffic. So in terms of a game, it makes it feel a bit more playable. Let me hit one on the simulation. So, and also the buildings. I feel like the buildings are also way too colorful in some cases. I don't feel like where's a good example? Well, there's a ton of repetition. Let's start with that. That I'm not so worried about, simply because on the Steam Workshop there's already a ton of buildings and new buildings. So that's only going to get better and better. So disregard that. The modding community that's happening, the game is only a week and a half old, or yeah, kind of like that. It's already insane. The things that these people are doing and creating is already making this game 100 million times better than it was out of the box. So that's amazing. Now, unlike SimCity, where it took a while before the developers embraced the modding community to the point where modding was actually happening, people lost interest in the game because of all the other flaws. So that was a sad thing and a bad move on their part. In fact, Maxis shut down recently, I think. So the Maryville office, at least, shut down. I'm not sure what the outcome of the actual company is, but I should probably read on that. Anyways, my other problem with the color in particular is the industrial area. This is a district that's only for destined for oil. I'm not going to go through the basics of the game because I'm sure you already saw a gazillion reviews and other Let's Plays. So I'm only going to focus on what you came here to watch, or me play or show you, which is aesthetics and design, and that's what I kind of do for a living. Not video games in particular, but UI. I'll get to the UI part because I have a ton of things to say about the UI. Anyways, going back to color, I feel like the industrial area is like it's like a ball pit. It's just so many colored buildings. It's ridiculous. Like, this is not like I like the aesthetics of SimCity 2013 in that regard, where low wealth industry was just like all shades of browns and blacks and like desaturated death colors, right? And I think that makes an industrial area a lot more believable. I do like having some accents of color here and there. I'm not 100% opposed to color. I'm just saying that this seems like way too much. Like, I mean, this area right here is also a good example. All these like super red roofs, or this completely blue buildings. I know some of those exist in real life, but I just think they need to be toned down a little bit, just a tiny bit. And also the ground pollution. This is something they fixed like a day or two after release, because this ground pollution used to be purple, like really bad purple, and they toned it down a little bit, and now looks like a slightly less purple, but it's still kind of purpley. I know there's already mods there that like make this dirt or something else, but I wish I didn't have to use a mod for that. I don't know. The art decisions on this game, for the most part, I'm okay with, but they have some issues. They just went a bit too much in some cases. So yeah. So let's see, what else can we talk about? I have some notes here. I don't know if I should follow them or not, because I'm sure I'm going to cover more things. But let's see. One thing I really like is animations. Animations. Let's see if I can accelerate. Probably not that much, the simulation. As you can see here, when the cars stop and when they turn, they have like cool de-acceleration, acceleration animation. I think that is really well done, even way better than SimCity 2013. Sorry if I'm comparing this, by the way, with SimCity 13. It's just that these games are so similar that I have to compare them. There's just no way. So in that regard, I do like those details of like the cars, like, you know, like a little acceleration and like some momentum. It's great. I do not like that they all clip against each other in like weird turns and they disappear. Like, I wish that was slightly better design. I know that probably takes a lot of work, and it's definitely not a deal breaker. Like, you don't even notice half the time because you're like at this level of zoom, so you don't really notice any of that. But it would have been nice if the cars wouldn't like run into each other, or at least crash every once in a while. I know Hal Jackie mentioned some of these things in his review. If you haven't, I encourage you to take a look, to watch one of his latest video about it. He has some cool notes, interesting notes about the game. Some of them I share, some of them I don't. But let's see, what else? Let's talk about, well, textures in general are perfect, are really good. They have a ton of detail, which I like. I was a little bit skeptic at first when I first heard about this game, because from what I saw in the trailers, the game looked a lot like Cities in Motion, which I think is from the same developers. And Cities in Motion is an awesome game, but the aesthetics of it is just really terrible. It's so dark and like, it's like the opposite of this. And I thought they were gonna go that way, and thankfully they didn't, because this game looks great. By the way, I'm using a filter, graphic filter. This is not how the game looks by default, in case you're wondering, because I got this a million questions before with SimCity. I'm using the temperate color correction override, which comes by default, so it's not a mod. It's the actual the one that comes, you know, out of the package. I am using the deluxe version of the game, so, but I don't think that has anything to do with this, just in case I mentioned that. Let's see, what else? Okay, let me talk about the UI, because that's kind of what I do for a living. I'm a UI designer, mostly for the web, not for games or apps. I mean, definitely for apps, but not for games. And I know there's a huge difference. However, I just think that the UI could have used a lot more work. I mean, the iconography, it's really terrible. I mean, it's a bit too childish for a game release in 2015. Some of the icons feel like they don't belong in the icon set. You kind of want the icons to look alike a little bit, so that they feel part of the same system. I don't think that's the case here. I would have much preferred like completely completely white icons without any color, just so that it's less clutter on the screen and I can focus on the beauty of the city. Let me zoom in into the city so you can actually get some nice background footage while I talk about the UI. Maybe you're not that interested in it. You're more than welcome to skip forward or just like turn the speed of the video to 2 times or whatever. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the UI because I think it's important. Overall, I mean, it's usable. It's very usable. I think there's better ways of displaying all this information than a sideways slider, especially once you start adding mods. So I haven't downloaded any of the all these intersection mods that I've seen, at least 20 in the Steam Workshop. I can't imagine having the level of mods that I was having in SimCity 4 downloaded, like, let's say, I don't know, a year from now, just like an endless scrolling carousel of intersections. I figured that at this point they would have done, knowing that a lot of people would do mods like that. I figured that they would have like a better UI where you actually have a search engine, for example, and it's the a bigger screen with bigger real estate to navigate through that. But I don't know, maybe they will change it. I don't know if the UI is customizable. I don't think it is from what I've saw from their wiki and their files. I'd be more than happy to redesign the UI if somebody can point to me what the HTML and CSS files I need to modify, if that is how the UI it's actually built. You can let me know in the comments if you know how to mod the UI, if there's a way, and maybe you can help me do it, and we can maybe try something better or not. We'll see. I will definitely give it a shot if that's a possibility. The windows themselves, I mean, the typography is pretty bad. There's really no visual hierarchy between things. I mean, it's not completely, it's not terrible. I'm not saying that. It's just, it could have used a lot more work, like a little, I don't know. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, I guess. But for the most part, I think it's okay. I mean, it works. I think I'll get used to it, and then it will become. By the way, I'm not saying the SimCity 1 was nice either. It's just think it was slightly nicer, but it wasn't the best. So, in terms of UI, one thing that really that bugs me a little bit is this iconography. This so all these factories are telling me that they want workers, right? So if I zoom out, then they grouped into smaller clusters, which is fine. That's kind of like how Google Maps works. But sometimes it happens that so let me give you an example. So this abandoned house, like the icon is now here, and if I zoom in, it changes. And sometimes I can't find it. Sometimes I have like 2 or 3 abandoned houses in one cluster, and when I zoom in, like I can't find the abandoned icon anymore. Like I don't know where the factory is. I just need to look for textures of a kind of an abandoned factory and bulldoze it, and maybe that will tell me. You see, here's the same problem. Here's the icon, and when I zoom in, it changes over there. Things like that. I think those can be fixed eventually. I don't know if that will remain like that, but that bothers me a little bit. The fact that these names and icons are displayed at all time for districts, it's also kind of like, if I'm at this level, I don't know, maybe I want to see this, or maybe I should be able to turn them on and off. Maybe there is an option, I haven't found it, but maybe there isn't, so I don't know. I know that if you turn the free camera mode, which is awesome, I love it, for doing like cinematic shots, and it just eases the movement of the camera, so that's amazing. That's a really good feature. And let's see, what do we have here? Oh yeah, in terms of, this is one thing I don't like at all, the way they did it. Farms are like this is related to the graphics part that I was saying before. It's just way too colorful, and I was expecting to have more farms like SimCity 4 type farms, where you can, first of all, you can only zone 4x4 zones, so 8 basically, only if you keep this roads at the same at that distance between each other. The part that I don't get is why all these farms look so futuristic. Like, what is up with this? Like, this is very confusing. I've never seen any farms like this, and I hope they will never look like this because they're terrible. I wish I would have hoped that the farming area would be more like farm, like just one tiny house and a bunch of grass and animals running around instead of like several. This looks more urban than farm. This is a big. I don't know what they were trying to do here. I'm hopeful that with modding this would be fixed somehow, but this I don't know. I don't know if yeah. I guess I'm making my point. So I mean, like I said, so far it's a great game. One big thing that I really like, and it's very, very well done. Just to say something positive, because I feel like I've been saying all negative things, but in reality, the game is amazing. I really like this game. I'm just like, yeah, I don't like this, and I don't like that, but you know what I mean. It's just, I'm sure from what you've seen so far, you get an idea of how awesome this game is, and the possibilities of it are just tremendous. The road building tools are fantastic. I'm thinking of doing a video on some guides similar to what Sad did for SimCity a while ago. I don't know if you remember that, but he put together some awesome like layout tips and tutorials for SimCity, and I think that would be good. Instead of doing a Let's Play, which I might do later, but the time being, I might do some like guides like that. I think you might be able to. I prefer to teach you guys things and tips and ideas on how to improve your cities instead of just like building a city and you're trying to copy what I do. I don't know, just to try something different. We'll see where it takes us, but I'll talk about that later. Let me finish reviewing the game. Like I said, road building is really great. The one thing that I'm slightly concerned is, again, it's not a complete deal breaker, but it bugs me quite a bit, is the transitions. So I'm expecting to have, oh, by the way, if you see random icons like this, for example, this pedestrian road in the road, I have mods. I also have mods for this. I'll come to those. But basically, if you see weird things that don't show up in your game, it's either a mod or part of the deluxe version. So don't mind those. I'll cover those later. But going back to my original thought, transitions are kind of not great. The fact that I can't do anything sharper, if you will, like than this, bugs me a little bit. First of all, the textures of the lanes don't go straight, which is, I mean, I understand why that is, the way the game works, but it would have been nice if at least on the freeway the lanes will continue. And also would have been nice if I can like get the lane to not be so abrupt coming in or out of the freeway. I'm also putting it the wrong way, but yeah, that's just one thing. I mean, the same with train tracks. This is as close as you can get it, which is very smooth. I mean, like I said, not a deal breaker, but I hope that it would have been like I could have done like a nice merging curve like real trains have in real life. Yeah, overall, road building tools, rail building tools, pedestrian building tools, amazing. They're really great. I'm sure there's gonna come mods. I'm sure people will come up with mods, that's what I'm trying to say, to work out the sloping issues. For the most part, out of the box, sloping and the way you deal with roads and terrain is absolutely fantastic. Way better than SimCity 2013. SimCity 2013 it was just a mess, and there was no way of controlling it. In this game, you have some way of controlling it, and it's and for the most part, it's really good. You'll never get like a weird bumpy road in this game. You'll get like a really smooth, at least a smooth transition between the 2 points of a road. There's some bumpiness here and there, but it blends in so well that it doesn't even matter. It's basically effortless to get like really decent smooth roads. So What else? We have the data layer views. These are not super pretty either. They look exactly like the ones from SimCity, so no major complaints there. In this game, you actually have to deal with pipes and sewage, which I'm okay with. It just takes a little bit more work. It makes it slightly more of a chore than building it, but I have some fun building, just like very little fun building them. I try to be realistic a little bit, not just do like random draw pipes here and there. I try to like make them, I don't know, make them make sense a little bit. I don't know if that makes any sense, but as you can see, my layout for pipes is pretty much straightforward. It's just lines and other lines coming from them. So overall, that's good. Just cycling through some of these data layers randomly. Oh, wow, I'm losing frames like crazy. I guess this is the game is not liking this data layers. Let me turn them off. Or something else is happening in my computer and things are not going well. Are we back to our frame rate? I don't know. In any case, I'm really, really excited about this game. The possibilities are highly increased compared to other city building games. Definitely SimCity is lacking next to this game. This game, if you're doubting whether or not to buy it, I would, if you're into this types of games, I would totally get it. The fact that you can, I mean, I don't know, I haven't covered this, but you can basically build this entire place, and this is already a ton of room to do. Each one of these clusters apparently is 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. It's supposed to be the same size as SimCity 2013. However, I feel like in this one tile, I can fit a lot more things than, I keep hitting my microphone, than SimCity 2013. So even like the scales of everything is like slightly shrunk down. So that thing alone is just great. And the physics of the water, that's another thing that's really, truly outstanding. The fact that you can put a, what you call them, the dam, the power dam here, and the water will start rising. And then if you have pumps on the other side, the water level will start lowering, and then your pumps won't have any water to pump water from. I keep saying pump water, but you know what I mean. The way the water works in this game is absolutely insane. If you played with the assets editor, the map editor, it's just wow. It's really, really good. So I wish you could have terraforming controls in game. You don't, unfortunately, but I wish you did, because it would have been nice to be able to terraform it a little bit. But I think that pretty much gives you an idea of what I think about this game. I definitely want to keep playing it. Maybe even doing more live streams. That last live stream was really, really fun. I really want to thank you all the guys, all the guys and gals who showed to the stream last Saturday. It was really, really fun. We ended up being like 500 people at some point. It was really scary at times, but I think it was awesome. And I feel like a little small town here, by the way. Don't tell anyone. This is just between you and me. And like millions of views, hopefully millions of views. So before I go, I wanted to tell you, a little bit of what I'm thinking for the next couple weeks in the channel. This time around, since I still don't have a lot of time to put videos up, as you can see, but I still do want to keep updating the channel and coming up with interesting things for you to watch. I was thinking of doing, like I said, some like guides and like short videos with tips and mini tutorials and ideas on what to and not to build in this game with the default tools and also with the mods. So expect some of those videos in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully I can keep up with the production of those. Those videos definitely take more time than an actual Let's Play, but I think you're going to value them a little bit more, and you're going to be able to rewatch them many, many times over, which which I think you'll find more enjoyable in the long term. You can watch these videos years from now and still hopefully come up with ideas for new cities all the time. So that doesn't mean that I will never do. Wow, I'm really dropping frames for some reason. I don't know what's happening, but hopefully I can still do some Let's Plays or just focus on streams for this game. I haven't really made up my mind about that, so we'll see. We'll see what the future brings. But for now, I'm just gonna say a quick goodbye, and I want to thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one.